Hello, good evening, good night, good morning, depending where you are, and welcome to this wonderful evening of racing here on the Simsport Racing International YouTube channel. We're here for the Split 2 race of the GT3 season. I'm Oliver Anderson, Mr. One of Oliver, and there's some slight changes here in the shed for tonight. Joining me in the booth, it will not be Sam Pierce tonight because she apparently have running diarrhea. Oh well, she's sick for some reason, but I assume running diarrhea is the only valid reason. So joining me in the other chair in the commentary booth will be Colin Mooney, also known as Horsebox Streams, and behind the cameras tonight it will not be Grandpa Chris Hill, but everyone's favorite Daddy Vandemir, ready to take us through this wonderful event at Kyalami. A track that I think most drivers have great experiences with, track that invites overtaking and crazy racing. And I think that Mooney have a story or two to tell us about this track.
No, look, it's just one of the best tracks going out there, and to be honest with you, my first kiss with Oliver was actually around Cheetah, and that's a kiss with the car, not a real kiss, everyone. But no, honestly, tonight it's going to be a great taste of what's to come with SSRI, especially with the endurance in about another month and a bit's time. So Oliver, yeah, if you want to talk about even the 24-hour that's coming up as well, just to give that a little bit of a promo since we're at Kyalami.
Well, the 24-hour is not even the next endurance race, goddammit, but oh wait, we can't say that. I mean, Allah, damn it, obviously. But yeah, there'll be a nice charity race here, and I haven't prepared anything to talk about this, by the way, so I'm just desperately going through some Discord pages. But we have a nice charity event coming up here on the 11th and 12th of November, I believe. Next month we will be trying to be raising a crap ton of money, as always. I feel a bit shitty that I can't remember the charity organization this time around. Maybe Mooney can do that. I think it's, what was it, the Christie charity?
So yeah, so this one here, it is the Christie charity, but there's also the charity auction that's on the Simsport website as well. I'd also recommend people going on over there. I'll run through that really quick if you want before we have a look then at everything else that's going on. So it's called the Christie charity auction. So for the Christie charity, and at the minute they have a SimCube SC2 Pro wheelbase. The current bid at that one at the minute, Oliver, is actually €999. Then also in there at present there is 45-minute session in a full motion D-Box sim, and the current bid's only €40 for that, so that's actually a steal at the minute. And also a steal, there's a €200 voucher to spend on simline.eu store. Current bid's only €50. And Oliver, something for you that might be cool, there's a SimLab XP1 load cell pedals, the 2 pedal sets, so accelerator and brake, at only €125 at the minute.
I actually think I'm the one leading that auction, to be honest, but yeah.
Not
definitely worth checking out. It can all be found on the Sim Racing International webpage. You will have to make an account there to do the bidding, but that's quite easy and not something that will bother you too much with the details here, as we are preparing for qualifying here on Kyalami. Maybe before we go to qualifying, we can have a little sneak peek on some of the standings we have seen so far. And we are quickly getting them up on the screen. We've had some quite interesting racing so far this season, with the championship leader currently being Sebastian Ryan, who, funny enough, haven't won any races. A P2 on Hungaroring and a P3 on Snetterton brings him to the top of the table. Pascal Vida in second, who I think have signed out for this race. He won't be racing tonight. And the AM driver of Frank Hopp in third. Stunning drive, great performances from him so far this season in the Lamborghini, leading the AM category by a country mile at this point. Doing quite well in the overall championship as well, being within just a few points of the championship lead at the minute. Timo Sidek in fourth. Great races for him as well. Maybe a little bit under the radar, both of them not too involved in the battles, but sneaking it through the best Mark Webber style as possible, coming in at the discreet position, sneaking a podium in the first race, which he did rub off of Dominic Gies, who might be talking about later. Some Polish guy named Partis in fifth position in the championship race, winner from the first race. A chaotic race, a lot of drama on that one. I highly recommend everyone to go watch that on the YouTube channel. Franz van der Linde in 7th. I'm not going to run through all of them, but just the top 10 overall. As Dominic Gies comes in 8th. Dennis Miller in 9th position, also a guy who had some decent results so far. Mark Saniel, the Audi driver. I thought he was the lone Audi driver, but there are quite a few of them. Oh, well, not quite a few, but there are a few Audis in the second split as well. But Mark Saniel have definitely been the best of those so far this season, with a stunning and wonderful livery as well. Tonight we'll also see Aaron van Doren race, who haven't, even though he is scored with a 28th position in the first round, he actually didn't complete a single lap in that one. And also Rory Stewart will be racing tonight for the first time in this championship season. A guy who some people are, well, yelling out about that he was sandbagging a lot, and by a lot I mean a lot, in the preseason tests, but yeah, we'll have to see his true pace tonight and whether or not that it was true sandbagging, or he can actually perform at a higher pace than he showed us there. An AM driver with a story to tell, definitely. But yeah, also quick reminder to those out there, there's a YouTube chat and we'll try to answer comments if you write them, or answer questions and reply to comments if you write them in the YouTube chat. I can see Alex and Adam are already going there, and someone named Crazy. Don't know who that is, but hello, Crazy, Adam and Alex. I assume that Chris Hill and Sam Pierce are watching as well. Hope that you are doing well and have enough toilet paper out there. As fun fact about this particular corner that we just saw and cut away from as we are watching the pit lane exit for some reason. Definitely an interesting part of this track. Speaking of pit lanes and pit stops, tonight we're having the first 75-minute race of the season here on SSRI this time around. In this race, compared to the normal races where we have mandatory tire changes, this time it's only mandatory fuel, so we might see a few different strategies come into play here, though I do think most drivers will take the tires when they go into the pits. We are likely to see the pit window open halfway through the race, as it would be the optimum strategy, but you could maybe try and do something different and go deep on your stint, Mooney, and just do a splash and dash by the end.
Yeah, to be honest with you here, it should be just a splash and dash. Realistically, if you have the pace and you're smart, kind of go halfway through and get it done, or, you know, just wait until the pit window opens and get in early and avoid fighting too much as well. It's probably a good strategy. If you're in the midfield and you don't want to get caught up in fights, you just want to get free air and drive flat out to the end. I'd recommend the minute the pit window opens, get in, get it done, and just fly on.
But you wouldn't take tyres if it was up to you, Mooney?
Definitely not.
Definitely not. Oh, that's interesting. Different opinions here in the small shed where we are sitting way too close. Good thing we're not under COVID restrictions at the minute.
Oh, sorry, that's your leg. Sorry, I put my hand back. Sorry.
Oh, thank you. I was feeling that something was different there. It wasn't my hand.
You want to know a really useless fact about the track?
Oh, really? What about the track?
So, with this track, it's an FIA Grade 2 application that's on it at the minute. And its very first inauguration, so when it actually opened, was the 4th of November 1961. I suppose you remember that well, Oliver, do you?
Oh, yes, definitely. I remember it as if it was yesterday.
So do you want to go through the facts here, Oliver, with the track guide?
Oh, well, what track? I wasn't ready for the track guide. God damn it, I have a thing open, but we're going through the corner that I will definitely butcher the name of very quickly. As that was a crawl throne, but Jukiski sweep we're coming through at the minute before coming into barbecue corner with many different lines we have seen so far, and a different overtaking opportunity in the second split coming onto this straight. Sunset will be the next one. The exit from barbecue are extremely important coming up here. If you go too narrow there, you'll not have enough speed and someone will try the overtake up into Sunset. Also, a few different lines can be taken through Sunset. We have seen quite a few of them, different gears from different cars and different turn-in points. After Sunset, we are coming in here to the 90 degrees clubhouse. It doesn't seem that sharp from up here, but I'm telling you, when you're in the car, that seems hellishly sharp, and with the curves on the inside and outside, you have to watch out in some of the cars. The SSRI also a killer curve on the inside, and once again on the inside here on the right. On the left-hand side, you have to really watch out for the track limits. Coming up to Cheetah now. Leo Cup. There's a surprisingly steep hill coming into this corner that we don't get to see here, but it will definitely be something that the drivers notice, or will they all know it because they've done a lot of practice. Hard to get the braking point right there, and a lot of oversteer on the exit of that corner due to the camber of it. Coming down into Mineshaft now, one of my favorite named corners in the entirety of the world. It's so nice, rolls off the phone pretty decently. The crocodiles are up next. Important corner, also a lot of action can be seen here, overtakes and such coming onto this. Well, most people think it's a straight, but it's actually slightly curved to the left before we hit into Cheetah here with the sausage of death on the inside. Many people have died there, many more people will still die. Well, not literally speaking, of course, but crashes have happened. The final corner, I think that Mooney can pronounce that better than me. I think it's Engiv. Maybe that's not right. But yeah, that was a flyby of a lap here on Kyalami.
You wanna know another fact?
Chill, give me the fact.
I know this one is actually an interesting fact because it's got to do with real life racing. So the lap record around this configuration, which is I think it's from 2015, this is in this configuration. In the GT3, it's Matt Campbell in the Porsche 911 2 GT3R. In the 2020 Kyalami 9 hours done a 142.021. So that's the GT3 track record.
That's definitely going to be broken here, as we are jumping into qualifying where we are already way underneath with a 140.9. Very quick time there from Andy King, currently leading the timetables with Sebastian Ryan, the championship leader, behind him. Dennis Meader and Jonas Planas, also a driver who close to snatching the win in the first race, but got an unfortunate drive-through penalty in that one. Dominic Gies up there, Frank Hopp quite far down leading AM at the minute though, but normally we see him fighting for the top spots in qualifying and also in the race. Parties improves a slight bit, moves up into 7th position in the stunning Ferrari. Interesting to see which cars will perform well here. We know that the Mercedes, Audi and Ferrari are cars that people actually like to drive around here, and the Lambo should be somewhat terrible, we have heard, but whether or not that's true, we'll have to wait and see. Mark Saniel here following around. great livery on that car, even though it's just an in-game custom livery, not something that he have sat around and put much effort into. It's just something you do within the game actually, but the color combination here are really great for him. What do you say, Mooney?
Yeah, I'm just surprised there's no Porsche here, because that would be the optimal car. The McLarens are definitely going to suffer. As you were saying, though, obviously the Mercedes, Ferraris will definitely be up there. I'll be interested to see how the Audi is on the one lap pace. As a race car around here, I think you're going to be on edge for the full race. It's a very, very twitchy car, but it is massively fast if you can really hold on to it and really tame it in.
Well, no Porsches, Mooney, but there is something else on the grid. Do you want to know what it is?
Is it an Aston Martin, or is it your favourite car?
Oh, it is definitely my favorite car, the Lexus. There is one wonderful Lexus on the grid. Not doing that well in qualifying at the minute, as we can actually see it here in the foreground of the picture, just ahead of Cohen's screen. Here we have him. Wound to wins, everybody. What a lad, what a car, what a machine. He's going to be the driver having the most fun out there. Because of the racing you'll get in the Lexus, but because of the way it handles and drives.
We're calling that for pole, what do you reckon?
We'll wait and see.
Yeah, come on, encourage the lad, will you?
You know, I would rather put my money on Mr. Drinking Aaron van Duren.
Oh, really?
No, definitely not.
I was just thinking that. I was like, all right. Well, Prince is doing grand in the Audi there. I do reckon, though, it's going to be a Fezza on pole, whether it is King, Palanis, or is it even going to be any of the Ferraris down from 16th to 19th. I do think the Ferrari is going to be the overall fastest car over the lap.
Well, it's hard to say which manufacturer. It's about which driver can hit the day at the minute, who can get that one magical lap in and nail as many apexes as possible. Quite a few drivers up on the top at the minute do have the qualities to put in stunning laps, including King, Reinl, Mida, Planas, Giese, Sidek, maybe not. We haven't seen that great qualifying pace from him. Patrick Prince could be a guy who could challenge from the Snag and Sons. I know that Alex Crawford out there watching will be excited to see him as we run on board with Patrick Prince at the minute. Seeing if he hooks up that final corner. Goes out onto the curb, and will he improve as we go across the line? He does, and goes into first position. Wow. Round of applause if in the chats out there for all the other drivers.
And the crowds go wild in the background there on Kyalami. Absolutely loving it.
Oh, they have never seen anything as great as that. Mick Singland here. In the picture, Moon, you were about to say something probably great.
No, I was going to say, it just goes to show the Audi over one lap is going to be super fast. Can Prince keep the pace, though, over the full race? It's something I'm definitely going to be interested to see.
Well, not just whether or not if he can keep the pace, but can he keep the provisional pole position? He's only leading by 35 thousandths of a second. That's a Lambo going the wrong direction. Might as well just reset to the pits at this point, as he will have 2 screwed laps.
Well, he might get pole, yeah. You never know.
Oh, well, if not on the next lap, but hey-ho.
So, Oliver, here's one for you, right? For all the fans that are watching on YouTube and that watch it back afterwards, who is your favourite driver and why in Split 2?
Well, I can't really... We have to be biased as commentators, so I can't say that Dominic Giese is my by far favourite driver because he's my endurance teammate, but... if you put a gun to my head and told me I had to pick one Split 2 driver, I would definitely pick none of these guys.
Wow. Why?
Well, why would I? Although that McLaren I had with the great livery is also quite decent. I think that... who is it who runs that livery?
I don't know.
The Rail, maybe? Oh, I think it's Van der Linden who runs the livery, to be honest. But a great livery on that car. No, it's not Van der Linden, but also great livery on the Sim Racing Holland car. Oh, then it must be Van Rail. Must be, yeah, definitely. No, Favard, it's Favard who runs the livery. Hello, Sim out there as well. The simulator. Haha. Anyway, Mooney, who would you pick as your favorite driver? I know that you know all of these guys inside and out, literally.
Well, I actually know a few of them because of doing the comms with SSRI a little bit and watching it. Honestly, I'm going by just my favourite name, nothing more, nothing less. I'm going to go with Hop because I just want to say Hop all day.
Oh yeah, it's the hip hip hoppity hop.
That's it.
It's a shame that John Betson isn't racing in this split though. That's also a great name. Although I like Cohen as well. It have this great translation into Danish.
I know Patrick Prince for me is definitely. He's going to get pole and he's going to get the race win tonight, guys. You heard it here first.
Improvement by Van der Voort up into 7th position. Frank Hobb is really getting obliterated today in the AM class. He has been so dominant all season long, well, for the first 2 rounds of the championship. But down into 12th, not that usual for him to see. As Sim is telling me, Jonas Planners have promised some great results. Oh, well, he wants him to promise him a great result. Well, no, he did promise him a great result, it looks like in the chat. Sorry for that weird reading. But yeah, we'll see what he can do with 5th position at the minute. Decent car for the job around this track, I would say. Did have a great race at Hungaroring, was about to win the race, but got on a very unfortunate drive-through penalty. Didn't have the best of races at Snetterton. I think he got involved in the big crash on lap 2. But yeah, let's see what he can do here at Kyalami. He will have to, if not fight through people, then he'll have to defend like a madman with the field being this close. At the minute, the top 11 is within a second on the grid, which is quite awesome to see.
Unbelievable. And you can see there, fastest splits there. Sector 1 is Meter, Sector 2 is King, Sector 3 is Prince. So really, optimally, there's still a little bit more time on the table.
Oh yeah, but also interesting that it's 3 different cars with the 3 fastest sectors so far. The Audi, Ferrari and Merc, of course. With Geens being the first one, not in one of those cars. We go to Sebastian Reinl now, championship leader, currently in 3rd position. Will he improve with 3 minutes to go? Coming to the line, going across it. Yes, he does. Pole position, provisional pole at least for Sebastian Reinl. By 88 thousandths of a second, he beats out Patrick Prince at the minute. Interesting to see there. 3 different cars on the top 3 positions.
Absolutely. Does Prince, King, or even Meter have an answer? Planis has a bit of work to do to catch up with these guys. He's about half a second off, really, at the minute pace-wise.
No, but you never know. Maybe he have had some bad laps, but he definitely have to hit the apexes better than what he did there. Timo Sidek here, the Team Hot Air Balloon driver. Also great delivery as always from these guys. I think it's an all-out German team, if I remember correctly. There should be 99 of these hot air balloons. One of them are supposedly red, and a song was made about it once, if I'm not mistaken. Small improvement up into 9th position, ahead of Aaron van Duren. Great to see. Dominic Gies we follow around here, and the beautiful, beautiful OnlyFans liveried machine. Also one of the greater Mercedes liveries out there from 11th. Will he improve? Up into 6th position. Great jump there from Dominic Gies.
You've taught him well.
All the drivers crossing the line now will only have 1 more lap, and Sebastian Reinl is in the pit, so he will be done with qualifying. No improvements from Sebastian Reinl as Frank Hobb starts his final lap. Meter goes into the pits, top 2 in the pits with a minute 20 to go. That looks like that could have been invalidated there from Andy King. If not, then that could have been. But pushing around, he can still do 1 more lap if he's quick enough.
If he's carrying the field as well, that's going to be the biggest thing, because they will be going as light as possible here to pull as much time.
Definitely. More and more people are reporting to the pit lane. Not a lot of drivers on track, surprisingly, with still 50 seconds to go. Patrick... No, that's not Patrick. Who is that? That will be Partis. Have just started his final lap, as I can see on my small track overview. But wow, top 3 within 1/10 of a second. Double Mercedes at the minute. That means that Dennis Meter have improved. While we were looking away, Andy King, best placed car, still on track. Up to the line we go. Crossing it with 13 seconds to go. Up into second position. Wow, that's top 3 within a 10th of a second.
Wow.
With King still having the opportunity to improve once more as he's on his final run. Frank Hub, will he pull something out of the hat and maybe snatch pole position for the AM class category? As we are following him across line, no, he pulls off to the side. No improvements from him there, into the pits for him. Andy King now again in the screen. Probably a chance for a slight improvement. This could be a very cracking fight for the win, Alex. You're completely right about that. Either that or a big crash. We'll have to wait and see. So it's King, Siddick, Van der Linden and Blitzmer on track at the minute, as we have the big standings up on the screen, small screen in the bottom where we can see Andy King running around. He'll be trying everything to improve his lap, and fun fact that the current pole sitter does not have a single fastest sector anywhere on the track.
Consistency is key.
Definitely. Especially if you're named Sebastian Reinl. Those Germans, they just do everything so perfectly.
Well, I won't be celebrating just yet. King's having a super tidy lap, and when it looks tidy, it's normally fast.
It could very well be one more corner to go here for Andy King. Some traffic up ahead. Could be a small slipstream that could help him out a little bit. That's Frank Hobb, it looks like. No, that's Siddick up ahead of him. Siddick improves up into 8th position.
Oh,
King's
what a
in
lap.
4th position on the final. Wow, this just shows the importance of being out on track by the end. Only Van der Linden still running out there somewhere on the track. We'll just wait here on the signboard as he finishes. No improvements there.
That was such a super smooth lap by him as well, you could just tell.
Great qualifying session we've been witness to here. The grid have now been set and the drivers are slowly getting ready and putting their minds into what they're going to be doing in the race. Interesting to see what will happen into the first couple of corners here.
I reckon not an incident by turn 1. I reckon first lap, not one major incident. I have absolute faith in these people.
Well, we haven't seen any lap 1 incidents in the second split so far this season. Oh, not any major ones, so I don't see why we would have one here. But what would you do here in the start, Mooney? If you could choose, would you rather be on the left-hand side or the right-hand side of this track?
Honestly, I prefer to be the left-hand side, either in the first 2 rows, realistically, and then you can kind of dictate the apex a bit. The only thing I'd be worried about is people trying to dive bomb late behind. The outside is always nice to be able to avoid it, but for me, ideally, P2, P4, that's the place to be.
Well, not for you. You wouldn't be that fast, Mooney, but yeah.
Champion here, that's all I'm saying. I'm not going to say more.
What league? Anyway, left-hand side are definitely the optimal side here. You can get the inside for two of the most important corners in the start, the turn 1 and then into barbecue as well. Great importance there to keep the inside, and you can sort of choose when to go on the throttle and maybe squeeze the outside drivers a little bit if you want to do that. Be a little bit dirty.
It's always good to be an aggressive driver to the point of, you know, nearly banging doors. Ideally, you don't want to be kind of going too dirty and cutting people's lines either, because that will most likely cause an accident if you're not anticipating it.
Well, normally, Mooney. Normally it will. But once again, it's up to the drivers who are getting their game faces on, picking their race setup, adjusting fuel loads, tire pressures, trying to figure out the strategy as well while waiting on the grid. Many thoughts going through these guys' heads at the minute.
Definitely, but just for the people watching on YouTube, if you all want to throw a little comment in for the song that Oliver's going to play at the end of this stream, he's going to sing a song. So you can choose the song that he's going to sing, and he's going to give it his best.
What?
So they're going to choose a song for you to sing at the end. So, you know, whatever the viewers and the fans want, they get. So if they want to sing, like you to sing maybe a bit of like Spice Girls or something, you can do a bit of that for them.
Oh, definitely. But if you prefer me just not singing, then press F in the chat.
Don't want to make them sing.
You don't want to hear that. Then we'll be demonetized from YouTube due to the sexy Chris boys.
You have a voice of an angel, I will admit.
Oh yes, oh yes. The sound of silence, says Sim. Oh, that's a great sound.
But literally.
Yeah, I could do that, but literally.
But actually, here's one for the guys watching. Drop the name of someone that you'd love to see a hot lap with. Say within the first half an hour, we'll do like a full lap on board with them. And you can pick who it is. And it cannot be Mr. Geese, because I know Oliver's going to try and get everyone to say Dominic Geese so he can boon over him.
No, definitely not. I prefer giving the back markers some shine. Also, a quick shout out to Steve Parker, who I believe also this time around have taken the prize for most practice laps done on the practice server. Which shows that practice doesn't always make you perfect, as he's starting in P20. But nevertheless, keep your practice in and you'll improve slowly. Last season he was Mr. Drift King, this season he's Mr. Consistency. Full lap of Parker slides, please. God damn it, Sim. God damn it. Why do we ever ask YouTube chat for anything?
YouTube chat is the best chat.
Yeah, as we are getting a slight run down through the grid order, maybe you can go through the cars, Mooney.
I don't know all their cars off by heart, so there's a car to the left and another one to the right. There's flags waving in the crowd.
What type of flags do you see?
I see Irish flags and flags saying "Sing Oliver, sing your little heart out," because Tom Vandermeer wants to hear you sing. Tom is your #1 fan.
No, nevertheless, as we come into 7th position, I know that car list, that's Aaron van Duren. In the beautiful CBSR Mercedes Classic livery. Dominic Geese lines up in 8th. Timo Sidek in 9th, as we are actually rolling, so we don't have time to go through all of them. As here we get a picture of, or well, the starting grid as Cohen Grigins is stuck in the pits for some reason. Someone didn't trust in the other guys to actually take the start or keep it clean. Maybe just forgetting to press drive, that could be the reason for this. Bavard further down the field, definitely one of my favorite liveries, the old McLaren style livery. Oh well, McLaren Formula 1 style livery, it is obviously a McLaren that it's placed on, so it's a McLaren livery, but you get the gist of it.
It is super cool. I will be back into the commentary chat in just a second. I need to go and sort one thing out, Mr. Oliver, so if you don't mind pleasing Tom and all these beautiful people watching with the amazing race start that's about to happen.
Oh, most definitely. As the drivers are coming around now, we see some of them weaving, some of them will just be using the brake to keep the temperature in the tires, getting them warmed up and ready for the race. Hard to say what's actually best, it's a matter of preference for the drivers and whether or not that you trust yourself not to bend it into the wall if you start weaving too much. As the darkness are slowly setting the sunset over this beautiful, beautiful South African track. And for those who wasn't here earlier, just a slight reminder here, this race, mandatory pit stops are enabled. You have to take fuel in the pits. No mandatory tire changes, so strategy are open for that. Whether or not that you'll go in for a single liter of a splash and dash fuel stop and go quickly out again, or if you're fueled for half of the race and go fill up for the other half, that's completely up to you. You can do different variants of the strategy as well, obviously. But that I think will be the two main strategies, either come in at the halfway point and take fuel and tires, or go deep and take fuel only. Stay out of the traffic. Drivers coming up towards Mineshaft now, we'll soon see them starting going too wide side by side. Starting to line up for the start of the race. Going to be rather interesting to see who can take this start. We know that the Mercedes are slightly better on the start than the Ferrari. So Andy King in pole position might come under pressure into the first corner. A first sequence of corner, we should say. Sequences of corners. With the Audi of Patrick Prince lining up in 4th position, that could become a threat as well. That car is super quick around here. Not the most stable of cars, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see what what he can do with that car in the race. Could be a real threat for these guys up ahead of him. Only a few meters between him and actual first position as we're coming around through the first corner. Andy King lining up on your right hand side screen out there, as we're now just waiting for the green flags to be waved as we go racing. Andy King off with the start. Not much happening behind Andy King, off to a great start. Oh well, maybe I spoke too soon, as he's under threat by two Mercedes immediately coming into the first corner. Dennis Meads gets smarter and backs out at 4 wide behind, slight contact there. Van Duren gets bullied around a little bit. Still Andy King in the lead of the race. Sebastian Reinl here under big pressure. Dominic Gies, oh, crash overhead, that's King around. King have gone around. Plus I think it's me, no, that wasn't me, that was Sebastian Reinl who also went around with him. So that effectively puts Dennis Miller into the lead of the race. And that's the Audi of Patrick Prince right behind him. Aaron Van Duren up into 3rd position early in the race. What happened to the rest of the drivers there? Maybe we'll get a replay later on to showcase what exactly went on there. A ton of Ferraris behind these guys, as 3 Ferraris line up from 4th into 6th position. But now it's up to Miller whether or not he can control the race from the lead, or if he will start to feel the pressure from behind. A completely different task lies ahead of him now. It's no more attacking, just racing. As he's starting to pull out a small gap already, as the other drivers might have been a bit shocked of what happened earlier in the race. Patrick Prince coming up as we get a replay of what happened in the start. Here we go, we can see the 4 wide further down. Smart driving from Gies there. Van Duren keeping it on, as we can see how close they get here. It's Andy King and Dennis Meter we can see up here. So that, ooh, that's Dennis Meter who taps Andy King. That's Dennis Meter who caused all this, and Dominic Gies gets involved in that as well. 2nd race in a row for Dominic that he gets involved in that first lap carnage. Oh well, last time it was the 2nd lap, but 2nd time he gets involved in the carnage. Not the start that Andy would have wanted, from pole position and going all the way back down there. GGs are being sent in the chat from CBSR Esports. Apparently, I assume that must be Mr. Anthony Tehorst. Hello Anthony, if you're drunk, press F in the chat. As Meter still leads the race, starting to pull a quite nice gap down to Patrick Prince in 2nd position, who needs to find himself in this race if he wants to do anything about Dennis Meads. Great pace up there. Patrick Prince coming around there. Beautiful driving. Just about a 2nd down to Aaron Van Duren in 3rd position. The CBSR driver that a few people might want to see out there in the YouTube chat. Beautiful livery on that car. As always, the CBSR also a few guys known for being somewhat drunk when they race. That might be one of the reasons why Aaron is not up there topping the 2nd split at the minute. In 4th position is Van der Woerd and Frank Hobb under some pressure down there. Andy King making a move, maybe some slight contact there with Van Duren. But he did get through somehow, making his making a few positions back up as Dominic Gies onto the tag of Steve Parker. Now Gies to the inside. Looks like he actually got through there nice and cleanly. Good awareness also from Steve Parker. He knows that it's not a race that he knows that he's not racing Gies for final positions in this race, so no reason to fight it too hard there. Sebastian Reinl here also involved in the first lap incident, as we can see the Lexus of Walter Rins ahead, and Jonas Planas also a driver who's a bit out of position as well. Coming into the first corner, this could be interesting. No one threatens the Lexus there. Sebastian Reinl on the outside looking for the move of Jonas Planas. So what a move if he pulls it off. No, I have to follow. No, the contact. Sebastian Reinl not having a good time, as that puts Dominic Gies 2 positions up. Not the smartest of driving there from Sebastian Reinl, though it's hard to say from this angle who was at fault. Part C's up here, also close battling all the way down from in these positions. A lot of drivers being super close. Part C's in the back of Van der Linden, the Sim Racing Holland machinery. Best placed McLaren at the minute. not that often in these days that we don't see a McLaren all the way up the top of the tables. But nevertheless, he is there. Frank Hopp in the pits for some reason. Just emerged down in last place. Something might have happened to him, maybe a disconnect, maybe something else. But that was a little bit strange. Andy King up in the back of Sebastian Reinl and Steve Parker ahead of them. Coming down to Leo Shaft, Mine Shaft and the Crocodiles where the moves can be made, but maybe not the smartest for those guys to be fighting too hard. Timo Sitek, best placed Lamborghini at the minute, 5th position. Trying his best to both defend and attack at the same time. Quite a difficult task, but these guys seem to be falling into a nice little train. Whether or not they can actually get the overspeed to make the move at some point, we'll have to wait and see. With Van der Wood leading the small train in 4th position, being the train driver. Ooh, little mistake there from Sitek. That could put him under pressure. He needs to nail this next corner, not to be overtaken by Van der Linden behind. A lot of curb taken there. Maybe that put the car off a little bit. Van der Linden definitely looks like he has some drive here. Not the smartest place to make the move. No, he stays behind. Somewhat of some understeer there that could put Van der Linden under pressure now by parties, but no, they all fall nicely into the single file once again. Up to the SS we go. And while we're speaking, Dennis Meter just pulling out that gap further and further and further. Whether or not that he's fueled to go halfway into the race, a little bit hard to say. But he's definitely taking charge up in front at the minute. This is falling right into his hands. Patrick Prince have made the gap as well in from 2nd to Aaron Van Doren in 3rd. And from Van Doren down to... Whoop, now we're jumping a little bit in the pictures as Dreil is under pressure or making a move. Vevard next to him. Vevard still ahead, but what is that? That looks like it's the Ferrari of... Is that Arctis? I think that's Arctis making the move now. Attack turns into defense there from Vevard. Some switchback, 3 different lines here. Arctis could get the better of that. A little bit of argy-bargy there, but Arctis does get the better of it. Ooh, that was a sketchy place to go side by side. Sebastian Reinl into the early pit stop, getting that out of the way. Trying to get some clean air for himself. This could be important later on for good positions. He is definitely not taking tires at this point. As we jump straight back up into the train driving as Sitek. Now, have Sitek made the move? Yeah, Sitek have made the move on Van der Voort, it looks like, up into 4th. Great grid driving from him, probably in the background curve, been into turn 1. He made that happen. Now it's up to Sitek to make the gap, start to gap him and try to pull in Aaron Van Doren, who already got 4.3 seconds down to Timo Sitek. 2 endurance rivals, but whether or not that they will get close to each other on track, we'll have to wait and see. As Reinl have exited the pits once again. Frank Hopp definitely had a disconnect as he still haven't served his pits and have exited them at this minute. Not good for his championship hopes, but it should be somewhat clear in aim with that one. Mick Schinklands here on the attack of Iron Van der Linden. Remember that there are 2 Van der Lindens in this race. One in a Ferrari, one in a McLaren, one in a dark livery, one in a Golf style livery. Getting close there. Looks like Iron have chosen to run with the rain lights for some reason, maybe to distract Mick Schinklands as much as possible. Trying to get him a little bit unfocused, maybe psych him out. As Gies looks for a move on Wins behind. Had to fall in behind. The straight line speed of these 2 cars are both quite high. But yeah, the gap is just too big for Gies there when he doesn't get a better exit. This could evolve into a great battle with Planas behind as well. Both of these drivers will be trying to make the quick work of Wouter Wins, but we'll have to give it a good wait. As in different lines here, Wins goes wide, Gies on the outside, coming up into sunset. This time around 2 wide. Do they have the ball to go side by side into it? No one backs out of it. Yeah, looks like Wins backs out a little bit, but Geese gets it done into sunset. Great driving there as Wins are immediately under pressure from Planners again. Or from Planners. Into the S is not the best overtaking opportunity. We'll have to fall out that one, but great driving for Wins leaving the room. But on the exit, now he gets the squeeze on. Planners and Wins up into Leo Cup. Will brake latest. Looks like Planners goes late on the brakes, but the outside line. Watch the traction there. Great move from Planners on the outside. Good job. 2 positions lost in not that long time for Mountain Wins there. Unfortunate for him in the great Lexus. Stuff happening in the YouTube chat as well that I haven't been looking too closely at. Sorry for that, guys. As we saw, he can't drive. What? CBSR, what are you talking about? Game crashed, game over from Frank Hub. And some other stuff that don't need to be spoken of, since there are some swear words that we are not allowed to say on this channel. Party is looking for the move on Van der Linden there, trying to make him go defensive. Does succeed in that. He can get the better drive here. It's all about positioning into the next corner, into barbecue. Which is fun to say. Okay from Parties. The McLaren can be a bit unstable on that one. Up towards sunset we go, even though the sun have set over the track. Darkness and clouds lurks in the background. As these cars really come to life, we can see the exhaust glowing on them. The brakes might even glow later on in the race. As running through we are. Mark Saniel behind, also a little bit in the train, and that's for P2 in the AM category. Further behind this train. But Parties is so close, right up in the rear of Van der Linden. On the outside now into Leo Cup. Can he get the better exit? He will have to hope that Van der Linden gets a slight bit of wheel spin there, but he's right under the wing now. Keep that slipstream going. He could go for a dive here, have a little bit of a look, coming close, having the look. Inside he goes, throwing out the leash. No luck, good aware driving of Van der Linden as well, making a little bit of room on the inside, if Parties would have wanted to send it up. Through Cheetah there, both staying well clear of that inside yellow sausage. Start finish straight, another good opportunity at the end of this straight for Parties if he wants this move done. And I could imagine that he wanted it done quickly, as he seems to have more pace at the minute in the Ferrari than Van der Linden have in the McLaren. Does look for it, but too far back to really make the send. Different lines and different amounts of trail braking from the two cars as Van der Linden goes a little bit too deep. Makes him go to some awkward lines through here. This could be Parties' chance. Van der Linden gets a terrible exit there. So close to contact. Parties does get through even before they go into sunset. Great driving from Parties, just being super patient and pushing Van der Linden as much as he can to force the error and get the move done. Great driving. Whether Parties can gap him now and get to pull in Van der Voort is a big question for him in this race. The Alpha Simsport team will be cheering him on from the pit wall, from the sidelines, but Van der Linden will be doing everything he can to get right back as we go back to action. Mike Singelin's here on the outside of Iron Van der Linden, it looks like. The other Van der Linden in this race. Ooh, Singelin gets that terrible exit wheel spin there. Big moment for him. Easy save though in that corner. But still, even with that slide, goes out for the inside move behind the fences. He goes onto the curb. Still on the inside. Can he keep it there? No, he can't. Up over Cheetah as Dominic Geese are coming closer and closer as these guys keep fighting. It's Iron Van der Linden, Mick Singlins and Dominic Geese in this small freeway battle, as a lot of drivers are super close at the minute on track. Kyalami always lives up to the expectations of close driving and good battles. As Johan Plans goes into the pits. Early stop from him as well. Tires or not, that's a big question. I don't think he will be doing that either. Probably a lot of damage. He have been involved in incidents earlier on. Dominic Gies is now getting closer to Mick Shinklins than Shinklins are getting to Iron van der Linden. He will probably have to look a little bit in his rearview mirrors, and attacking and defending in the same time can be a little bit difficult. Four-wheel slide there from Dominic. Really pushing the boundaries of that Merc. He will be back in the Merc in just over a month for the endurance here, I believe. But Dominic also needs to prove himself tonight, as I believe this will be his last race this season before other real-life obligations take over on Tuesday evenings. Up in the front, Dennis Mead always already 11 seconds ahead of Patrick Prince. True dominance shown here, only 15 minutes into the race. This could be pretty mad as a 217 car. That's Frank Hopp that's causing a yellow flag through cheater. Might have been on the curb of death. Parked in a gravel trap, few laps behind after the disconnect or crash. Or PC crash, still have to take the pit stop. As Oscar Arktis is off as well. But that's in Leo Cup. Must have been some sort of contact for him to spin around there. Both Hopp and Arktis are going once again. Good driving from Hopp, just staying out of the way as long as possible to allow everyone to go through. He knows that he's here just trying to collect whatever scraps he can get out of this one. Patrick Prince also doing a pretty decent job in second position, haven't really been pressured since lap 1. As Aaron are getting slightly closer, not by a lot, but ever so slightly, he is getting close and having those high beam headlights lurking in the rear. Can be a little bit frightening around here, as they're racing pretty hard, seeing them take as much curb as possible. I do believe that was that Aaron or was it Anthony who ran out of fuel here a few seasons ago? Was probably Anthony. He seems like the kind of guy who would do that kind of stuff. Although he could probably just breathe into the tank and it'd be full of ethanol once again. Stidek also getting closer to Aaron up there for the last spot on the podium. As Partizan and van der Linden really side by side now. No, is that's Partizan? That's Partizan van der Weert. Sorry, van der Linden. Frans van der Linden is the third driver on this small freeway battle. Partizan made it up into 5th position there. Good move from him. Into the Crocodiles, he made the move stick, but a good opportunity for a counter into turn 1. Interesting to see that Van der Weert is not running the same kind of light settings as the car had as Part C's in this event. Not that it matters too much, as long as the drivers can see, you know. Then it should be all good, fine and dandy. Timo Sedek have really caught up to the back of Aaron van Doren. Half a second between them right now. Battle for the final step of the podium. Mercedes versus Lamborghini. Interesting to see that Timo Sedek found this much speed in the Lambo around here. Not many people say it's a good car around this track, but it seems like Sedek have really made it work, as Frans van der Linden is also trying to get the moves done on Van der Weert. Through Leo Cup they went, Mine Shaft next, and then we have the Crocodiles, but a little bit too far back to make the move into the Crocodiles this time around. Frans van der Linden. But knowing Frans, he will be super focused at the minute, trying to get up to Van der Weert. Not touched by anything. Heads down type of driver. Van der Weert going a little bit wide. This could mean that Van der Linden could come right up his tail as he is onto the start-finish straight. But whether or not that he can have enough speed to get an overlap down here are highly doubtful. Timo Sedek made the move. Timo Sedek have made the move on Van Doren. Sedek up into 3rd position. Happened into turn 1 as Patrick Prince also just ahead of these guys right now. This have very quickly turned into a freeway battle for P2 instead of the battle for P3. Siddick are really flying at the minute. He seems unstoppable. Not quite the pace of Dennis Meter there, but still pretty fast. Question whether or not that the 217 and 81 are out of the race. No, they are still running. And Jonas Planners could get back up there as we have a replay of the move for P3. Let's see how it's done. To the inside, not that much of that. Good driving from Aaron van Duren. As he had started turning in, then opened the door to maybe avoid the contact. Nicely done by both drivers. Good aware driving as we jump right back into it as Timo Siddick are right up the tail of Patrick Prince, who goes right through Cheetah. Being pressured a lot, and this is how quick it changes. 2 positions in 1 lap from P2 up into from P4 into P2 there from Timo Siddick. Great lap, but 16 seconds between him and Dennis Meter. He really have to get going now if he wants it. Excuse me. I'm not used to talking this much. Van Duren there still keeping up with Timo Siddick. He might be trying everything he can now to push and get it back. If he's still sober enough to drive a race car, obviously. Patrick Prince could still be in this. Don't count him out yet. Even though we fell back, Frans van der Linde here is still in very hot pursuit of Van der Woerd. Seems like he just can't get that speed out of the McLaren. Sim says Meter surely will take tires. Siddick too, probably. I think so as well, that Meter will take the tires. He's definitely pushing it so hard that anything else would be quite extreme. Someone that was Van Dryle, who returned to garage for some reason. Probably a crash, and now it's done. Van der Linde made the move, and he does look like he made a stick, but up into Cheetah now, side by side. This is not something you want to do. Coming out, ooh, what is that? That's Patrick Prince. Patrick Prince after Cheetah once again. Parked in a very dangerous spot. He can't really go anywhere until the entire field have passed through. Very, very unfortunate for Patrick Prince there. And they became much worse from him. Into the pits he went. Just what Mooney said during the qualifying, that the Audi is very fast over 1 lap, but super hard to keep consistent. Not what we wanted to see there. She was probably one of the guys who could have made a difference up in the battle for the podiums. Van der Linde now have company of Mark Saniel as well behind. Van der Linde might be running a little bit too high wing to get the move done on the Ferrari. Sim goes sausage curve things. Yes, that's a curve of death. That's Cheetah. The corner is named. Looks like Prince is being a hell of a lad and just pits and goes back out on track to try and salvage some points out of this race. We have a replay here of what happened to Patrick Prince. All alone, just going in. Yeah, just touches the curb and then gets 2 wheels on the grass. Typical mistake. I would lie if I've said that I've never done the same, because I've done that many times. Very, very unfortunate. Prince also out of the race. Out of out of the battle for the top results. At least still in the race, I believe. Yeah, Prince is still running. Stop confusing me, Anthony. But out of the race for the race win, I would probably say, as there are no safety cars in this sim racing world. Van Duren still running around in 3rd position, just at 1.1 seconds up. to Timo Sidek. Sidek have made a small gap, but it's not like he's pulling away by a country mile. This could evolve into a strategy game as Van der Linden now all over the back of Van der Wood. This time around, surely have it into barbecue they go. Trying to squeeze him round, but watch out for Mark Saniel, who can get this move as well. Into Sunset, Mike Saniel looking on the inside, just pulls out, but bad line from Van der Voort, that cost him a lot. Looks like Frans van der Linden got ahead that can now get cleanly away if he does have more pace. And doesn't manage to drag Van der Voort alongside with him. Beautiful driving through the SS. It looks so nice seeing these cars so plated through there. Up into Leo Cup. This is where Van der Voort really needs to get up close to Van der Linden so he can get some of that nice slipstream coming down. Long back straight. Looks like France got a bad exit there. Did he have some sort of wheel spin? He was definitely far on the inside. As Dominic Gies has made a lot of places back. Up into 8th position, only 2.2 behind this battle. Same goes for Andy King, who looks to be on quite a recovery drive after being so far back in the start. Equal to Dominic, of course. But this is the action. Frans van der Linden needs to get away from Van der Voort, from Wouter van der Voort, to keep his hopes and dreams alive of beating all the AIM drivers. As we can't forget that Van der Voort are currently leading in this race for the AIM drivers, with Mark Saniel directly behind him on track and directly behind in the AIM class category. Both of them fast drivers, but we can see on track that they make up their time in different parts of the track, it looks like. Different strengths of ability and of cars, which is one of the great things about GT3 racing, that not all the cars, even though that they are BOP to be roughly equally quick, they are still very different machines to drive. As Van der Voort are really looking all over the back of Frans van der Linden. The two Dutch drivers trying to battle it out, or duking it out between them. It's a matter of not just skills. It's also about the psychology of the drivers. And being under pressure, putting someone under pressure, staying calm and composed in all situations you can get out from. As these guys are really dragging a train behind them now. With Saniel, Gies, looks like Shinklins are coming into the train as well, and Iron van der Linden is not far behind either. Gap have formed now, and that's Andy King, and Andy King made the move on Iron there. But look at that train. If Andy King can get to the back of that train, he could be a guy on one hell of a recovery drive. It's basically from P5 and all the way down to 11th running in this train we see here. Coming on to the point with 45 minutes left of the race. Oh well, 47, so still a lap before we get there. 1.5 laps. King and 10th can, for now, just sit back and relax a little bit. Maybe get some tire management into position and gauge out whether or not that he wants to do anything about the driver's side, or where he wants to make the move as Partisa on the back of Aaron van Doren. Once again, Aaron finds himself in the battle for the final spot of the podium. And once again, he's in the defending row. This time from Parties, race winner of race 1 of this championship. Looking for yet another podium to add to his collection. As Van Doren and Parties are very close together. It is difficult to overtake the Mercedes, especially around this track, since the Mercedes have such good top speed and can take the curbs much nicer than most other cars. Or at least nicer than the Ferrari. But that doesn't mean it's impossible, as we can see how close Parties are up under the wing of Aaron van Doren. Into the crocodiles they go, but look at that, he just pulls out that tiny gap, even though that they're both full throttle and the Ferrari are under the wing of the Mercedes. Doesn't mean that it's a guarantee that you get the move done. Brew cheat on into the final corner. Close contention still. But Parties have fallen back quite a little bit. Maybe it was a mistake from Aaron van Doren that allowed Parties to get that close to him before. Let's see if we can just follow them around for this next lap. And trying to spot if gaps open or closes behind. Ooh, not the greatest line there from Parties in the first corner. Just put him a little bit further back of Aaron van Doren through Barbecue and into Sunset. But this should be where we see the Ferrari shine through Sunset. Very grippy car, very easy to get through here. So smooth and planted it is. And nice to drive. It's hard to tell, but the gap looks somewhat consistent between them. Through here, Arctis comes into the pits from way down the grid. He was one of the drivers who had that spin earlier up in Leo Cup. So quite far of contention are he. Still not much between Parties and Aaron van Doren. As we're getting ever so close to the pit stop window. If you want to take the tires, you could start coming in now to do so if you want to try and undercut people and get something out of the undercut. But whether or not you actually want to take them are different. Oh, look at that behind. Dominic. Ooh, that's a spin. That's a spin. Was that the Ferrari of Van der Voort? No, it wasn't. It was a blue car that could. It's not Shinklin's either. I think he's in a red car. Who was that who got that half spin? Nevertheless, that's Dominic Gies now on the attack on Mark Saniel. As it looks like Van der Voort have gotten a little bit of a gap. Opened up down to Mark Saniel. But not much in it though. Everything here up for grabs. This could end up being a matter of who are best in the pits, who gets the braking spots correct and who doesn't. I actually think it was Andy King we saw there with the half spin. Did look like a blue Ferrari. And Andy King definitely drives a blue Ferrari. Oh, black Ferrari. No, that's a black Ferrari. That could have been Ian van der Linden who had the half spin. Someone in the YouTube chat can probably tell me, as they are much smarter than I am. As Dominic is still putting this show on for us. Van der Voort getting closer and closer to Frans van der Linden once again. These guys seem glued to each other. As Parties are also in the back of Aaron van Doren. And the 7 car have spun around in Leo Cup. That is not... That's Mark Saniel. Mark Saniel have spun. That promotes Dominic into 7th. And a lot of other guys also gets promoted a position. Mark Saniel, whether or not that was unassisted or... Oh, he got some help there. That's for replay to tell later on. As Van der Voort now on the inside of Frans van der Linden. These two are really battling it out hard this time around. Good driving and respect from both of them. Wood gets pie, but Frans van der Linden can now get back there and pull into the slipstream and get the tow down into turn 1. We know that McLaren is super good under braking as Van der Voort goes slightly defensive. Nowhere to go there for Frans van der Linden in turn 1. Good move there from Wouter van der Voort. Great driving that puts the aim driver up into 5th position. As Mark Saniel comes into the pits. Parties still behind Aaron van Doren. These guys also hard at it. Close driving. I think that Aaron might be nursing his tires as Aaron goes half around. Opens the door side by side into the SS. He does let Parties by, but that's a bad line from Parties. Aaron could get him back now on the run up to Leo Cup. Great racing. Looks like Aaron lifted off there to avoid the collision. Into Leo Cup we go. Defensive line from Parties. Aaron can get early on the brake, and we know how good that Mercedes are on top speed. But no, that surely is too far back. Parties up into the 3rd position and the podium spot. The YouTube crowd goes wild as the CBSR team management are out there watching what these guys are doing, or at least watching what Aaron van Doren are doing in this race. Good driving there from Parties, taking advantage of the situation. Frans van der Linden and Van der Voort once again switching positions. And still battling close, and that's Dominic Gies, who's now the third man in line, who managed to pull Andy King with him up to this. King, the pole sitter of this race, looking behind from Van der Voort, as France van der Linden are P5. Oh, what? Yeah, France goes into P5. Wouter wins in the Lexus, goes into the pits at the 40-minute mark. 2.5 minutes before the halfway point of the race. Everyone here is so focused on keeping it clean, driving hard, just waiting for mistakes. But this is the point of the race where they might be starting to think about the undercuts and overcuts, and whether or not that they're on the same strategy as all the other drivers, or if someone's trying something different. Remember, it's only mandatory to take fuel in the pits. You can't go without taking the tires, and we don't know how much fuel these guys brought with them from the start of the race. Some of them could go really deep and just take a single liter of fuel in the pits, while others might come in for tires. Everything is still to play for these guys. Everything on the table, everything can happen and will happen. Oh, well, not will, but could happen in a race like this. Still 40 minutes left to race, and what a race we've had so far. Sedek just taking a nice chill here in P2. I know it says a lap down on the side, but that's just the scoring board glitching out when Sedek haven't crossed the start-finish line. Roughly 20 seconds between them now. True demonstration of raw pace and power from Dennis Meter. Nothing seems to be able to stop him in this one from taking this win. What a drive he's putting on. Looks like he just have everything hooked up as Peter Brooklyn comes into the pit, Belgian driver, in the Aston Martin. Van der Voort right up behind Frans van der Linden. Still going very close as Dominic is trying to keep some sort of a safe distance, lurking in the background, waiting for a mistake to happen so he can take advantage. Or maybe he's just too busy keeping Andy King behind him to really focus on what's going on up ahead of him. Van der Voort still leading the AM category here, but Iron van der Linden, not France, but the other van der Linden, Iron, in 9th position, are just coming into the picture there. The car in the back of the frame at the minute. That's P2 in the AM category. Who Van der Voort might be mostly interested in beating it out of all of these guys, as we see Iron here. Teammates by the looks of the cars and the name in the team part of the info bar on the bottom. Both of them great drivers with huge concentration levels. And the mind as Andy King is looking for the move on Dominic Gies. Timo Sedek goes into the pits, by the way. Andy King sets it up on the inside. Can he make 2 for 1? No, he doesn't. Great braking there. Parties into the pits as well. Great move from Andy King. Sending it from a little bit back, maybe taking a slight advantage of Dominic having a slight mistake. Dominic dives into the pits now. Getting out of traffic, that's kind of smart for him. Interesting to see if he takes tires. He might if he comes in at this part of the race. Which leaves Van der Voort out there. And King goes deep. Oh shit, I might have muted my microphone. Unfortunately, as Dennis Miller comes into the pits from the lead. of the race. Interesting to see where he comes out on track, as we saw some action there behind with Andy King making a great move and then going too deep. Still behind Van der Voort. This is the time where he should be thinking about undercutting them if they don't go into the pits, unless if he have fuel to go deep. France went into the pits there by the looks of it. France van der Linden into the pits, as Dennis Meter have exited the pits once again. No, he haven't. I thought that was just confusing on the timing board. Still stuck in the pits, aren't Dennis Meter? I think he's taking tires. Or maybe something is wrong. He's definitely been stopped there for quite some time. Now he's dropped. Get that car started, goddammit though. He do have time to stay there for quite a bit with that lead he had before coming in. Merging onto the start finish straight. Is that Siddick behind him? Maybe Siddick didn't take tires. If that's Timo Siddick, that's no, that wasn't Siddick. Siddick is in the frame here. Dennis Meter is way up here. No, that's that could be a back marker of sorts. But effectively, Aaron van Doren are leading the race. Though he is a pit stop down and have to take it at some point within the next 34 minutes. Van der Voort in second. France van der Linden went into the pits for the undercut maybe. King in third, who would probably be considering doing some kind of pit stops soon, no, rather than later. Shinklands up into a great fifth position. No, Siddick is leading over Meter. Siddick had a great stop compared to Dennis Meter. Siddick is the effective race leader now. Wow. I wasn't expecting that. I assumed that Siddick didn't take tires in his pit stop. That would at least explain why he came out ahead of Dennis Meter. It was just whether or not that he can keep the defense on for the rest of the race, as Meter will definitely be closing the gap during this stint. Big Shinklands into the pits. It could of course also just have been a pit stop error from Dennis Meter, but with that kind of a gap that he had before of over 20 seconds, it seems unlikely. Although we could have been gone off track on the cold tires. But 3.6 seconds between the approximate race lead of the race after the pit stop rounds have all finished playing out. Great to see that we got some kind of action back in the race for the lead. That everything wasn't not just a plain, smooth and simple sailing from Dennis Meter on this one. As Sebastian Reinl also had a decent pit stop coming out ahead of Dominic Gies. This could be very interesting later in the race to see what it pans out with Andy King and Van der Voort. Reinl could be right back into this for a podium position after being involved in that early incident. Only just ahead of Dominic Gies though. And even if they both had taken tires, then Reinl's will be much older at this point than Dominic's. Hard to say whether or not that Dominic actually took the tires or not. Someone with pit lane, pit ball live could probably see on how long they stopped. Someone stopped on track. That's Johan Paranes. Paranes is stopped and spun around. He's having a nightmare of a race this evening. Ah, Johan, you did so well in the first race, and then you have done so not well in the last two. Back on the horse. Keeps driving like a true soldier, as we highly encourage everyone to do. As Van der Voort and Iron van der Linden goes into the pits. Outside move now from Mick Shinklands on the Lexus of Wouter Wins. Gets the move done. That promotes Shinklands into current 13th, with few people needing to take their pit stops yet, though not many of those will come out behind him. With Wouter Van der Voort and Iron van der Linden in the pits. Both of them have fallen quite far behind Dominic Gies, which is a good marker to see where Andy King will come out of the pits. This could mean that Andy King would come out right in the region of between Reinl and Parties. and get that battle quite interesting up there. That could be the final spot of the podium these guys are driving for. But remember, Aaron van Doren haven't boxed yet. He could still come out in between these guys somewhere. As we now follow Dominic Gies, looking in the back of another fellow Mercedes driver. Of Sebastian Reinl. A stunning recovery here of Don Sebastian. Making the most out of a bad situation and taking the pit stop at the opportune moment for him. Able to adapt his strategy to get this kind of a run. Great driving there from these guys. Hattie's looking onto the back of the two Mercedes. Dennis Meader now getting close to Timo Sidek, 1.3 seconds between them. This is the battle for the effective race lead. Well, the virtual race lead. As Aaron van Doren and Andy King still haven't pitted yet. But it can't be long though. Aaron could be going deep into the race and just taking a single liter of fuel, which could make it somewhat interesting to see where he comes out. And could keep him as a player in the race. Steve Parker still out there in 5th position. Could also be running it deep. Meter now all over the back of Timo Sidek. Trying to make a little bit of a show here into the S's, but Sidek is untouched by that. Looks like Mead definitely took tires there. He can do stuff with that car that seems unhuman elsewise. Great pace. Great race showing as Aaron van Doren boxes in now with 28.5 minutes to go. Or at least he's rolling in the pit lane. Here we see him on picture. Time to see what the Mercedes boys at CBRS can do. Get him out there in front. It would be good to see. Andy King goes for at least one more lap. Still trying. Is Dennis Meader here. I must say that Timo Sidek are doing a quite good job of driving defensively. Aaron is coming out the pits on the inside there. This is top 3 effectively in the race. Are virtually in the frame right now. Good strategy from Aaron, but he definitely did not take tires there, Aaron. He chooses track position over the fresh rubber. I would probably have done the same if I was in his position at that time. When the pit stops opened, but that was almost definitely planned from the start of the race. Did we miss that? That Meader made the move on Sidek? I think we did. Meader now ahead of these 3. I was too focused on Aaron there. Dennis Meader now into P2. Still Andy King could be interesting with his stop. Once he gets that done, Steve Parker in the pits, which means that it's only Andy King that needs to take his stop of those left in the race. Timo Sidek must be thinking to himself, could he have done anything different to keep the lead in the race, but keeping Dennis Mead behind for 27 minutes would have been a tough thing to ask for anyone with the pace that he has shown so far. Here we have the replay of the overtake. Dennis Meader, where are they on track? Is this into the first corner, into Crawford? Yeah, just the regular inside there. Gets it stopped on the apex, leaves Timo Sidek with no chance of defending that one. Good move for the lead of the race. As we see the headlights racing around. But further down the field, a lot of battling in the AM class. Ooh, contact there. That's Mark Samuel that puts Peter Brooklyn into a spin. Samuel does the right thing and waits there for for Peter Brooklyn to get going again. Looked to be just an unfortunate situation with with multiple cars coming into Leo Cup at the same time, corner where different lines can be had and can be taken. Sim Spinkling says expected Cedric to fight harder, that harder. Yeah, well, but maybe he's thinking more about overall time loss to the other guys behind, or keeping ahead of Aaron Fedora, not allowing him into the fight. As we have parties on Dominic Gies, getting it close together. Parties we have mentioned a lot this evening. We've done an interesting race, sort of say, a lot of moves, a lot of racing from him. Obviously they have all been racing, but he have done some wheel-to-wheel racing this evening, sort of say. A name that we will remember after the stream, and for next time these Split 2 guys goes racing, definitely. As he's right up the tail of Dominic Gies. Into the crocodiles they go. Look at that, how easy parties can switch the lines there. This didn't look like that Dominic took tires. Maybe parties have. Probably not, since he's that close already. But pushing it so hard. Really trying everything. Now it's all about getting quickly on that throttle. And on the throttle he went all the way up, very close to Dominic's rear end. Good position for a slipstream coming into the first corner, Crawford, but moves out a little bit too early there, trying to strike up and look at that gap that the Mercedes made coming into the corner, or just coming down towards the corner. Definitely more speed in that Merc than Parties having the Ferrari. But he will not give up this one. Iron van der Linden must have been off the track there as he goes slowly and allows Cohen Geens to come up close to him. Good livery in Cohen Green's car, by the way, one of the better liveries in the second split, and an SSRI overall, I must say. Martini style livery, but offset both sides. Puts a great effect on the eyes, and the beauty of that car are right up there among the top ones ever seen in sim racing. Oh, sorry, the Golf, of course not Martini, the Golf. Getting iconic liveries mixed up and around. As Bavada and Planners have retired from the race, it looks like they've been in the pits for quite a while now. They've done well. Partizan really pushing, almost pushing Dominic up the road. Trying for the outside there. Good defensive drive from Dominic, but can he hold it on the inside? He does, and Partis is left nowhere to go. Into Cheetah we go. Oh, Partis hits the curb. Sausage of Death didn't kill him this time. Dominic gets a breather, and Partis will have to reclaim all that lost ground. Find his way back up to Dominic, and try once again to overtake Dominic for that magical P6. Though with still no pit stop from Andy King, we don't know if it's a potential P5 they're fighting over. But I think that that King will only take a single liter of fuel in the pit stop that could potentially put him out in front of those guys. As he's really enjoying his time in the lead. Fastest man in qualifying. Driving around now like there's no tomorrow. Decent job from him, and Frank Hopp shows why you always keep driving even though that you have PC crashes or disconnects. He's up into 20th now. It will score him some points for the AIM Championship, obviously. But Andy King, what a man. Easy drive in the front of the minute. Patrick Prince we follow now, having caught up to Frans van der Linden. After Prince he had that spin on the Sausage of Death in Cheetah earlier in the race. As that was Frank Hopp that's off in the final corner. But Patrick Prince trying to catch up to Frans van der Linden. On the run towards Leo Cup, you can see the different lines they take there. One going for the inside, making the turning radius a lot tighter than the other. A difference of preference into that corner from van der Linden and Patrick Prince. The beautiful Audi with those big glowing red exhausts. Doing the Snagantons team very proud out there. No curb this time for Patrick Prince, or well, no sausage, I should say. Curb he did take, someone's off in the background. That could have been Van der Woerd. We all know how quick the Audi can be in the right hands, and Patrick Prince are definitely one of the guys who makes this car fast, or can take advantage of the speed and agility of the car. But it's just a small mistake and then you're off. That can kill your race, which Patrick learned the hard way earlier on. Trying to reclaim as many positions as he can for the recovery drive. Coming up into the darkness of sunset at the minute. We started in the sunset, now it's complete dark over Kyalami. Or Kyalami, some people might want to call it. You decide yourselves in the chat which one. If anyone's still watching apart from Sim. Mr. Simulator. Yeah, Patrick doing a great job keeping the Audi on the road still, as Parties have already caught back up to Dominic Gies. Maybe Dominic have made a slight mistake there. Dominic just can't seem to shake Parties in this one. But we have seen how hard Dominic will fight to keep his position in this one. Will definitely continue to do that if I know Dominic correctly. Not much to lose for them, as they have 10 seconds back to France van der Linden. They can go as hard as they want, or at least Dominic can go as hard as he like in this one, without having any risks of losing further positions. As per se, the incidents could still happen, of course, but neither of these drivers are super prone for that. As we follow the beautiful cars around. Listen to the magnificent sounds of racing. The side exhaust on that Mercedes, stunning to see in the dark, as they glow all orange throughout the entirety of the track. Beautiful machines, and not just the Mercedes, all of them are beautiful machines. Another car goes off through the final corner. Seems like that the incident spot have swapped. I think that was Mark Saniel who have fallen further back once again, now behind both Parker and Blishma. And look at this part. These are really up Dominic's ass now. It's the same place once again. Coming down, coming out of Leo Cup, going through Mineshaft, and then into the Crocodiles, where Dominic seems to struggle the most compared to Parties. This time Parties just follows in behind, trying to get the run. Will he try to push him? Almost pushing him through Cheetah. This could also be a place, if you have the grip, then you could have gone through it there, full send through Cheetah, and then into the final corner. Once again, Parties really up the rear of that Mercedes. It's just hard to overtake a Mercedes when it's got so much speed. And if Dominic is running low wings, then it will be virtually impossible. Then he's all dependent on mistakes, showing himself on the inside. A little bit of ascent there. Ooh, was that contact? No, it doesn't look like it. At least no cars went off into Narnia. Parties can definitely do something with that car. It's just whether or not that Dominic leaves the door open. At some point slides, a little bit of a slide there from Dominic. Through Barbecue up into Sunset. Not a big enough of a slide to open a door for Parties. But running still so close between these guys. As that's Mark Sanders off again, this time in... he's off everywhere on the track it looks like, but this time he was off at the Crocodiles, as Parties are up in the wing of Dominic Gies. Through the S as they go. Up the hill coming towards Leo Cup. Does show a little bit on the inside. Dominic goes to cover, but still goes wide enough to try and get the apex done. Both turning in for it. Maybe Parties got it slightly wrong then. Tried to get earlier on the throttle than Dominic, but Dominic had to wait to access that mighty power of the Mercedes that forced Parties a little bit further back. Which gives it some kind of breather there for Dominic. Good racing for these guys. Ooh, Dominic clipping the curb of death and goes wide. Big mistake there from Dominic. Now Partis takes the 6th position. It didn't look like Dominic had the pace to keep Partis behind if the roles would get reversed. But this could have decided the 6th position in Partis' favor here. Dominic will have to dig very deep now to get back into this race. The curb claimed yet another victim. But yeah, that's just how it is as Andy King gets in the frame. Still leading with 15 minutes to go. Keeping it as clean as he can. On a good place on the track, not a lot of traffic around him. Just keeping it as consistent as possible while still pushing to get as big of a gap as possible for when he dives into the pits for what will probably just be a very quick splash and dash minute or moment for him in the pits. As Siddick and Van Duren are within 3 seconds further up the field. But whether or not that Andy King, where he will come out, it's getting more and more interesting as Frank Hopp is off in cheetah. Mark Schinkelings on the inside of Van der Voort. Van der Voort also an action driver. No, that's Oscar and Frank Hopp. Oscar Partis and Frank Hopp seems to have been involved in something there. Frank being several laps down after that early disconnect. Schinkelings made the move on Van der Voort as we were watching 2 cars trying to spin themselves around and get back to racing. Mick Schinkelings have done a great job so far, moving further and further up, but this also means that the AM drivers now are from 11th to 16th, all of them being AM, with Van der Voort leading the AM class by quite a mile down to Van der Vince in the Lexus. Great for Van der Voort in this situation, at least championship wise. He'll definitely make a big take good points out of Frank Hopp. As here we get some replay. Whoa, that's Arctis that goes into the wall. That's Frank Hopp already parked in the gravel, it looked like. Interesting. Nevertheless, the corner claims 2 more victims. Although some of the victims have been claimed in that corner early in the race as well. Schinkelings have gapped Van der Voort a tiny bit. He does have breathing room, or enough breathing room to focus on his own driving and maybe to try and close the gap up to Patrick Prince. It's not that the gap have opened so much that he can just ignore the existence of Van der Voort yet, but he's definitely having a think. Here's a replay of Frank Hopp. What happened to him there? Probably also just a hit on the curb. Yeah, he hits the curb and goes on into the gravel. Unfortunate for him. Unfortunate for him. Just a good job of going across track, though he hits the barrier on the other side, trying to get the spun probably. Nevertheless, he's still going. Schinkelings making a great impact in the gap up to Patrick Prince, getting closer and closer as Van der Voort is also somewhat keeping with Schinkelings. If he can stay somewhat within a second, he can maybe get dragged up into the battle with Patrick Prince with only 12 minutes to go in the race. And this could be a three-way battle for positions, or well, for top 10 positions. 9th, 10th and 11th it will likely be by the end of the race. Would be great to see an AM driver finish ahead of some more of the pros, as Andy King have gone into the pits. From the race lead, Andy King comes in. Whether or not he will make it out ahead of Timo Siddick, that will be the big question here. We think that, well, we know that Meter will go by, but whether or not that Siddick and Van Duren will come flying by, that's the big question. As we follow Timo Siddick here, through cheetah he went. Still parked in the pits, not just a small splash and dash. Did he forget to not change tires there, Andy King? He's still stopped in the pits. Sidek goes through. This means that Aaron van Doorn will also go through. Rolling backwards, that looked like from Andy King. Something seems strange in that pit stop. Now he's dropped, now he's going. He must have by accident taken tires. Reinl could potentially be a threat as well, as Iron and Wins are side by siding. Cutting a little bit over the exit line there, Mr. King. That's where we have King on track, 6th position. I think that Partis, that's Partis ahead of him. He's out behind Partis. Fatal ever there in the pits for Andy King, or maybe his tires was just so damn done for that he couldn't do anything about it. But behind Partis he is. But if he is on fresh rubber, he will make short work of Partis in this one. But that also promoted Sebastian Reinl into 4th position after that early contact that he had on the lap 1. Great recovery from Sebastian Reinl. Truly good job. Also putting it a 3 out of 4 Mercedes in the top 4. Interesting to see Iron van der Linden and Cohen's Green. Ooh, that's one to Vince. Vince spun around. Could have been in battling with... whoa, watch out with the Lambo there behind you, my friend. Good thing nothing came of that specific region. Cohen's Green. He made the move on Wouter Wins, it looks like. No, that's van der Linden behind, sorry. That is van der Linden and Cohen Geens. Van der Linden on the outside there. What is... Weird line from Geens there, weird line from van der Linden. Strange place for the overtake as well. But van der Linden looks like he went through with quite the overspeed on Cohen Geens, sorry. Ooh, Iron van der Linden, I should say, so we don't mistake him with France. Iron van der Linden, the aim driver, up to 12th now, as Cohen Geens looks to be struggling right now. Something seems off of that Aston Martin, as the other Aston of Peter Brooklyn seems to have gone by, or at least are challenging for the position now. Needs to be careful with Steve Parker also behind. This could be one of the times where bad goes to worse, as Parker makes a move on Buckland. As Parker now will be the driver challenging Cohen Geens for position. With 8 minutes to go in the race, everything is still on for the podium in the AM category. Geens are holding on by the tip of his nails, or tip of his toes, as the correct way of speak are in English probably, to that magical final podium position in the AM class. But if one driver have the composure and stability to get this done, it would be Steve Parker. Put a lot of effort into practice. I know he's running with new pedals. We haven't seen him being Mr. Drift King this time around as he was last season. Seems to be much more stable with the Ferrari than he was with the Mercedes. Putting a lot of pressure on Geens. This could be very interesting to see whether or not that Geens can keep a good defense on here. Sim, his tires was fine. We saw him drive backwards. We must have missed his box. Yes, I pointed out that he was going backwards. What was that? Rejoin, rolling on floor. Yeah. Damn it, YouTube chat. Why do we have to be so engaged with you guys? Remember to hit the like button and subscribe. Inside move there from Steve Parker, doing whatever he can to get this done. Looks like Parker does have the overspeed on the inside. No, he doesn't. Cohen Geens in the Aston Martin, showing the power of that front engine V8. But a much better line there from Parker. Not the best place to have the overspeed as they're coming towards Cheetah now. Can't go anywhere, we have to fall in behind. None of the three drivers in frame touches that or hits the curve of diff and gets destroyed. Geens 6 minutes to go. He must be sitting on the edge of that racing seat if it wasn't for the seat belts strapping him back into it. Racing as hard as they can. These guys, even though that they are AM drivers, they're still pretty fast drivers, so I wouldn't compete with these guys if I was on track at the minute. And also very safe. these guys. Not the most incident-prone drivers on the field. Big mistake there from Cohen Geens through barbecue. Leaves the outside open there for Steve Parker, but just edges enough ahead to keep position and decide and dictate the lines through Sunset. Oh, Steve Parker with a big slide. Mr. Drift King is back. And Seb is going wild out there. But keeps it nice save, good save from Steve Parker. Must have been scary from Bookland as well, as that's Blitzma as well coming into this battle. In 16th position overall in the Lamborghini. Big train forming here. Ian's doing a good job just keeping that calm and forcing the other drivers to make the mistakes and getting them up to the moves. Keeping nice and calm as Parker now have to defend a little bit from Bookland there. His tires must be slightly overheating at this point after a small slide like that. Have to be careful that no more mistakes are made in this race. Less than 5 minutes as we are crossing the line. The race leader not far behind these guys. So blue flags could become an issue if Mita doesn't just decide to stay behind them and let them battle it out. Here we go, Mita just onto the start-finish straight, crossing the line now onto the 41st lap of the race. Good drive from him and Siddick in second position and Aaron Van Doren in third. These guys have all done such a good drive today. Not all of them equally good, obviously, as Mita are pulling away like a madman out in front. These drivers all deserving of a round of applause after the race. Singles here, having caught up now to the back of Patrick Prince. A lot of battling is still going on in this race with just over 3.5 minutes to go. Back up to the main fight at the minute for the podium positions in the AM category. Steve Parker once again up on the back of Cohen Geens, with Peter Bookland behind, and Wouter Blitzma further back, though Blitzma is a silver driver, so overtaking here for him would only matter in the overall championship and not in the classes, which these drivers ahead are definitely thinking more about at this stage of the race. Steve Parker looks to be the fastest of the bunch of these drivers. It's just whether or not that he can find a place to make the move. If he can get Cohen Geens psyched out enough to force a mistake, or if he can make a straight up clean move by just pure driving and over speed. As Peter Bookland also have started to look a bit in the rear view mirrors. Blitzma could be interested in getting a few extra points for the overall championship. Wouldn't matter for his class run, but overall championship it would still matter. Did he touch the inside wall there? Was that just some lag on my side? Well, anyways. Still going hard at it. The different lines are taken through those first corners. Always interesting to see which lines are preferred by the drivers. Look on how close Steve Parker is. Steve Parker goes wide. Onto the grass he went. This could be Bookland now coming up and applying some pressure on Steve Parker once again. This is the thing. If you make just a small mistake now, if you lose 1 or 2 seconds, you'll lose 3 or 4 positions up in this battle. As that is Dennis Mita now being the caboose of this train. Backside train. The caboose of the train, yes. Not that many people out there who knows what a caboose is, but go Google it if you don't know. It can't be my job to educate you guys on old train stuff. Steve Parker forcing Bookland goes wide, trying the outside there, but that allows the opening for Blitzma. Lambo versus Aston. Good driving from both. But what are they going to do up here? Mita also right up behind them. Are Mita going to try the... Yes, he does. I would probably just have stayed behind and kept the blue flags away from the guys ahead at this point from Mita, but Mita is just showing such dominance, trying to win with as much as possible. He could become a huge factor in this race. When Mita crosses the line, everyone behind Mita are on the final lap. So if he overtakes Buckland but doesn't get Parker, then Parker will have an entire lap to focus on Geens. But Buckland won't get the opportunity after that. That could be the decisive factor in this race, as it is Buckland and Parker, it looks like, who's the closest battle at this stage of the race. Or Steve Parker now. This is the thing through barbecue. It looks like Parker normally gets much closer to Geens through there when he gets it right, but it's a little bit more risky for him. Doesn't look like that Buckland is going to allow for Geens to go through, or sorry, for Meter to go through if he doesn't make the move. Steve Parker really doing everything he can, pushing that Ferrari to the absolute maximum to get Cummins Geens. Ooh, small mistake. This could be decisive for the race. Getting a little bit of a slide on now. Buckland comes up and can start applying the pressure to Steve Parker. This goes from one extreme to the other all the time. That's part T, so had a slight spin there. That allows Geens to come back close to him, but not close enough. Looks like, as Dennis Meter looking on the outside there, but I think he at this point will just respect that the guys ahead are battling for position and will try not to interfere too much with that, Or is he? Yeah, he is just staying behind. Even looks like he's allowing the Lambo to get back up into the fight for another lap. I hope these guys brought enough fuels to get this done. As Dennis Meter will take the checkered flag and win the third round of the SSRI GT3 Tier 2 Championship here at Kyalami. Great drive from him. What a dominant performance. Great job from Dennis Meter. Winter winds have gone around at some point, which is actually putting him somewhat closer back to Geens, but not close enough for anything to happen down there. Steve Parker getting close. It's through barbecue as we go through now, where he normally gains the most, and once again takes a big chunk out of the time. Patrick Prince have been overtaken by Mick Schinkels here on the final lap of the race. For these guys, big contest, still doing everything. Patrick Prince looking all over the back of Schinkels, trying to force a mistake up towards Cheetah we go. Nothing there. Will he go full send into the final corner as we go split screen viewing here? As Steve Parker have gone off track. Steve Parker is off and have handled some positions back. Yes, he's all the way down now behind. What is that? It's not Blitzman he's behind. I think it's Blitzman he's fallen back behind. Unlucky there for Steve Parker. As Geens seems to actually be under pressure from Brooklyn further up. And the final lap. What a drive there. What a show these guys have put on for us tonight. Just a quick reminder out there that the Tier 1 guys will be racing next week on the same track. Hopefully giving us an equally exciting race. Unfortunate for Steve Parker that he comes in, but it looks like that Geens secures a very hard fought P3 in the aim category, P13 overall. Great drive from these guys. It's going to be interesting to follow these guys for the rest of the season. Stunning job. If anyone out there wants to join us for an interview, whether or not that you finished well in the race or what, come in and have a talk to us as we get some highlights running in the background. Yeah, what a drive. Unfortunate that we saw that incident early on in the race. We did have a few cars that seemed like they could have put pressure on Dennis Meter here, but once Dennis Meter got away, there was nothing really that could touch him. Great dominant drive from Dennis Meter on this one. There we saw what happened. He will need an almost an infinite penalty to end up further down the grid, or further down in the standings. Still just waiting to see if someone will join us in this small ship for some quick interviews. Maybe not. Hard to say. Maybe someone will join. A little joining. Little joining. This is the one from Sebastian Reinl, where he uses that Planas is showing himself for the overtake and then goes on the outside, really doing a stellar job there. On the move on Planas. I do think that Planas was carrying... No, this is the one where he spins him around. Halfway. There should be better descriptions of these highlights, god damn it. Yes, we will probably just enjoy some... Oh, people are in the waiting room. I'll just drag a few people... No, few people just jumped in or got dragged in by Daddy Van der Meer. Hello, you two. Timo Sidek and Dominic Gies, two, I believe, friends in the cars and but not on track. Timo Sidek, you had such a great race today. Seemed like you had a lot of pace in that Lambo all of a sudden. Not the best of starts, but you got up there once again later on. A few words on your own performance.
Yeah, I actually didn't expect the Lambo to be that fast on this track. I practiced it a bit, but I only did 43 times, and I was like, why am I so slow? And I tested the Ferrari, it was like 1 second faster. But before the race, I tweaked the setup a bit, and seems like it works.
Just before the race, that seems a little bit dangerous tweaking it that late on, but I must say, what a drive you had. I really enjoyed seeing you getting that car moved up in the field, and the great scheme of things, a second podium of the season as well. Right, yeah. I actually can't remember the standings of this race, how it ended up, but definitely a good drive. We saw a lot of you on the stream, and stunning race. Are you looking forward to the next race, even though that your next race might be the endurance at Monza, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, first Monza, but then after this, Misano is one of my favorite tracks, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Do you reckon that the Lambo will be good at Misano?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is, definitely. So you're saying a win is on the table, maybe?
Well, I mean, if Mida has got the same pace as today, I don't think so, but let's see. Maybe he gets a DT. This track is very difficult with the track limits.
We'll have to wait and see with that. And quickly moving over to Dominic, we also saw you a lot on the stream, Dominic. Seemed like you just didn't have the pace at the end. You got involved in the incident early in the race, a great recovery drive, but I have to ask you, what are your thoughts on the US invasion of Afghanistan in the early 2000s?
Oh, Chris, we are live. We can't discuss this right now.
He's asking questions, sir.
Yeah, actually, before we jumped in here, I told Timo you could ask questions you would never answer or cannot answer.
No, but Dominic, you had a rough race, at least in the beginning, but a great comeback from you. We saw a big train that you were cutting your way through in the race. How did that feel on track, and how was the Mercedes around Kyalami, as many people out there probably want to know?
Yeah, the Mercedes was quite good, I would say, but I have my little difficulty with it on turning, then accelerating. It isn't for me the best car on this track, but we've seen on Hungaroring, Meda and Hungaroring, it was a good car. We all are in top 7, so yeah.
Yeah, how are you looking forward to... I know you're not racing Misano, are you?
I do. Misano's the last race I do.
Oh, Misano's the last one you do. How are you looking forward to that? We know that the Mercedes is also pretty strong there, since there's a lot of curves that can be taken and can actually make overtakes on that track without being super dangerous due to the high top-end speed down the back straight. Are you looking forward to Misano and also Monza that we see coming up in the endurance?
I do, both races. Misano I did a couple of weeks ago in another league, and the Mercedes was quite well there, and I really like this track. And Monza Endurance, a really nice track for the Mercedes as well. So I'm enjoying. I will enjoy both races, probably.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see what's going to happen. That as this shed is getting more and more crowded, as Iron van der Linden also joins in. I always forget about the van der Lindens who is who, but I think you're the AIM van der Linden, right?
Yes, we're no family at all.
No, I know, but AIM class.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, that's how it goes. You had a good race as well, some would say, some would argue, I would say. Anyway, and we saw you had some battles out there, and just behind us a very big train earlier in the race that you were sort of hanging onto by the edge of your teeth. How did you find the experience on track today?
Yeah, it was not a perfect race. So I'm to be honest, I'm a little bit surprised that I finished first, and also I really have to apologize to Wouter Frins because in turn one we had we collided, but I didn't feel anything. So I thought he just spun in front of me, but I guess it was my mistake. So I'm sorry for that. But I'm surprised and I'm happy, of course. But I also made a mistake in the last turn, somewhere in the middle of the race, and but still finishing first, so very cool.
Yeah, speaking of finishing first, does this give you any hopes of maybe, I know this first will launch up a little bit in the AIM standings, but do you reckon that you can take the fight to Frank Hobb later in the season, who have been dominating so far?
Wow, that's going to be a big challenge because I think Frank is a little bit quicker overall, for sure. I don't know what happened to him at this race. I think he had a disconnect, something I heard. I'm not sure.
Something like that, yes.
Yeah, that's too bad because, but of course we'll try. And the thing is consistency. As long as you try to be as consistent as possible, you gain some places. Everybody will make a mistake in the end in the race. So we'll see. But I hope I can challenge him.
So do we, because it is a little bit one-sided in the AIM category at the minute. But with big points lost there from Frank Hobb and Mark Saniel also not having the best of races, you're definitely gaining some positions there. But anything that you can take with you, and are you looking forward to Misano that will be happening in 2 weeks?
Yeah, I don't know. I must say, every race or every lap I drive with the Ferrari, it feels like I'm getting better in that car. More confidence. So I think Misano haven't driven there a lot. I think only a few races. So I like the track. Some fast corners. It must be fun, I guess.
Well, you'll have to find out. Are you racing the Monza Endurance coming up in 2 weeks?
Oh yes, for sure. Yeah, and the Endurance and the 24 hours, of course. So there will be a lot of racing in the coming next 2 months.
Oh yes. Are you looking? What are your expectations of the upcoming Endurance at Monza? And looking forward to racing there.
Yeah, I like the track. We'll just have to see our last endurance at Silverstone was not great, but we did at least we had the best ending, the best standing at the end for all the endurance that we did. So let's take it on and we'll see where we finish. But looking forward to it.
Yeah, and thank you for coming here. So we have no more waiting in the shed. I think it's time to close down this hard-fought stream. And remember, guys, to tune in next week for the Tier 1 race that will happen on the same track. Just about to say the same commentary team, but definitely not since I'm driving and Mooney is doing something else. Hopefully we'll have the lovely Sam Pierce back in the commentary booth to take care of that one for you. I've been Oliver Anderson, Mr. One of Oliver. Behind the cameras tonight have been Daddy van der Meer. Good night and thank you for watching.